Hi, it's Pinky here with a toddler tip for you. Bedtimes with toddlers, and they want you to stay with them. You probably imagined that it would just be like in the movies when people go in and tuck their child in and perhaps read them a bedtime story, and they just kiss them goodnight and walk out the door, and that little child snuggles down and goes to sleep. And it's not like that in your house, is it? Wasn't like that in mine either. Your toddler needs you around at night time. They often want you to stay with them, and so they'll start creating excuses. I need one more kiss. I need a drink. I need you to kiss my toys good night. I need another story, or I'm not tired. There's no sleep in my bed. They'll come up with all sorts of excuses to just delay that inevitable of going to sleep without you. And when you think of it from a toddler's perspective, they're exploring, whether it's a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, or a 3-year-old. There's so much development going on. There's so much exploration going on during the day that their busy little minds take a lot to switch off. They really need some help to switch off. And the other thing is, they're barometers of our stress. So if you're feeling stressed, and you're trying to sneak away because you've got something you really need to do. Hopefully that's not just sit down and watch some Netflix, but you might have been up to pussy's bow during the day with your toddler and you just want me time. But you're going to get it more quickly and much more easily than if you shut that door and that toddler keeps coming out, or if he's crying, you're not going to be able to relax and have some me time anyway. So see this as an investment in your relationship and your connection with your toddler, and sit with him or sit next to him with your hand on him, or give him a cuddle until he falls asleep. Some people lie with their toddlers until they fall asleep. Chances are you might fall asleep too. Some people just sit there with their hand on them. Some mummies give their toddlers a booby to help them relax and go to sleep, and that's a great tool if that's what you're doing. Don't think it's a bad habit. But all of this is an investment in your time with your toddler, your connection. It's helping him relax so that he actually has a good sleep, and he's less likely to wake up a lot at night if he's had that little tank full, his little emotional tank filled. Because toddlers get on with their own business, don't they, during the day? They get busy, and that little emotional tank at bedtime, when they've got you right there, is when they need a little bit of stepping up. And even if you've got, see this as this bedtime, this pillow talk is really important, because even when your child gets older, it might be a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, they might be back at school, they might have had a rough time in the playground, or they might have had some trouble with their reading. This will be the time when they tell you, and even before bed, often you go in to kiss your 10-year-old goodnight and they might have something they suddenly want to tell you. And again, think of this as an investment in your connection with your child. You can't schedule their emotional needs. You need to meet them when they arise. And one lovely thing you can do with toddlers is to do a good midnight meditation. And it's closer for 2-year-olds. It's actually a guided relaxation. And you say, we'll talk about the bedtimes. Let's have the bedtime story. And you might have read them a couple of other stories too. And you say, good night, sleepy toes. Now this is with the light off. You have dim lighting in the bedroom so that they produce a little bit of melatonin, but you do this with the light off, and you're sitting next to their bed. You might have a hand on them. You might be holding their hand. Good night, sleepy toes. Good night, sleepy feet. Good night, sleepy ankles. Good night, sleepy leg. Whatever body parts your child knows. And I thought I was doing really well with one of my little grandsons, and he was just so relaxed, and I was ready to move. And this little voice said, "You didn't say eyelashes." I said, "Oh, we'll start again then." And we got to good night, sleepy feet, and we barely got up to good night, sleepy knees, and he was sound asleep. So, just remember, follow with them. Don't get cross if it hasn't quite worked. Just sit there while they're all relaxed and fall asleep. And I've got loads more tips for toddlers in my book, Toddler Tactics, whether that's bedtime, daytime, playtime, whatever. So, Toddler Tactics. And you can get that off my website, pinkymckay.com. And if you haven't got time to read, it's actually available on Audible as well. So the link's there on my website to get it on Audible. So, good night, sweet dreams with your toddler.